Hi guys, welcome back to Astrology. Today we are going to be talking about the transit reading for the month of May, and this is being recorded for Pisces. You can watch this video both from a Pisces moon sign as well as from Pisces ascendant rising perspective. Now, apologies folks that there has been this delay in terms of releasing the video. All these videos were shot, but I have to reshoot because of some of the glitch in my software. However, I would want to draw your attention to the fact that May month is pretty important. You are going to be witnessing three key transits coming into play. One is for Jupiter, which is going to be happening on 14th of May, where Jupiter will be transiting into the sign of Gemini. We've done a detailed video of that and we've released it already last week. If some of you have not had a chance to watch that video, please go ahead and revisit. I recommend you to keep watching that video every few days as you move through the transit in the next few months. Then we are going to be touching upon the transits of Rahu and Ketu, which is happening in the sign of Aquarius and Leo respectively through the course of this month on 29th of May itself. Now, this is the true transit date that I'm taking into account, unlike some other people who are considering 18th May, which is not correct. And I want to draw your attention to the fact that we will be doing a detailed video on Rahu Ketu transit as well, which will be released next week. Hopefully it gets short on time. But the point I'm trying to make is in this video, you are going to get an emphasis on all of these planets coming together and shaping the transitory impact for us through the month of May. So without further ado, we are going to jump into some of the key dates and understand what those dates hold for us. Guys, as you can see on your screen here, Sun is going to be in the sign of Aries itself until May 13th. And then for the second half of the month, he would be transiting into the sign of Taurus from May 14th onwards. Then you have Pisces, who's come out of his sign of debilitation. Mercury, I'm sorry guys, Mercury is in the sign of Pisces and it has come out of the sign of debilitation. And it is moving into Aries from May 6th onwards. So effectively in this video as well, you will see it depicted in the Aries box itself. Venus continues in its sign of exaltation in Pisces, and that is going to be an important bit for you guys to note. He is going to be transiting into the sign of Aries from May 31st. But quite effectively for the rest of the entire month of May, you are going to still see an exalted Venus in your chart for the last bit this year. Then Mars is in Cancer in its sign of debilitation since April, and it is going to continue in this state for the rest of the month. It is actually transiting in June 6th in moving into the sign of Leo. Then you have Jupiter, which is in Mrikshara Nakshatra in Taurus. It has been there since April 10th and it is going to be moving into Gemini from May 14th. Again, this is where I was alluding to that we've done a detailed video of Jupiter's transit into the sign of Gemini. I think it's going to be a very important video that you please check out to understand what this could mean for you. Then Saturn is in Pisces in Uttara and it has moved into its own nakshatra itself since April 27. So that's a positive movement coming into the sign of Pisces. Rahu is in Pisces in Purva nakshatra of Jupiter, and it's going to be transiting true transit into the sign of Aquarius within the same nakshatra from May 29th onwards. And last but not the least, folks, Ketu is in Virgo in nakshatra of Surya of Sun, and it is going to be moving into the sign of Leo within the same nakshatra on May 29th. So those are the key transits that are going to be coming into play. Keeping these dates in mind, we are now going to deep dive to understand what is going to happen in the month of May for you guys. Now guys, as you can see on your screen here, Jupiter, who happens to be your Lagna Lord, is going to be making one of the major transits where he'll be moving in from the 3rd house to the 4th house. We've done a detailed video on this and it was released last week itself. If you have not had a chance, guys, please go ahead and watch it. But from a yoga's perspective, Jupiter has been in a Parivartan yoga with Venus for a while, and that will exist till 14th of May, post which he transits into the 4th house, whilst Sun will come into the 3rd house itself for you. So the 3rd house in terms of activities, action, that is not going to reduce Pisces. It is going to continue with its momentum. With Jupiter coming into the 4th house, he is going to bring an expansion. It's a natural house of exaltation. So that's a positive sign. Don't worry about his placement into the 4th house. Plus, he's giving an aspect to your 10th 8th and 12th. Yes, expenses could be on the rise, but spirituality will be on the rise for sure for you, Pisces. And I would want you to please keep that in mind, that you have to increase your spiritual bent of mind. You have to increase your learning in that direction. And this Jupiter is going to give you phenomenal aspects with respect to his aspect to the 10th in the sign of Sagittarius, because Saturn was the one who was single-handedly giving an aspect to that house until now. And that shift is definitely going to come into play. In fact, that shift is going to come into play with the transit of Rahu and Ketu as well, because Ketu will also be impacting and aspecting your 10th house. But we'll talk about that in a bit. We will be making a separate detailed video about the Rahu Ketu transit as well. As we move further ahead from Jupiter, he happens to be your 10th lord as well. So him aspecting into the 10th sign, into the 10th house, is going to be positive with respect to your career, with respect to your karmas in general. When I say 10th house, please do not assume that it is just your job. It could be your job, your business, your day-to-day activities. If you're studying, if you're a retiree, your hobbies, your schedule around that. If you're a homemaker, how are you keeping your family around tied under the one hood? All of it, every small activity, you taking your dog out for a walk, constitutes your karma. You're going to be busy and you're going to be doing the right things. So that's a positive outlook for you, Pisces. Then you have this clutter of planets in your first house itself. Saturn, if you're watching this from a Pisces moon perspective, by the way, you are into your second phase of Sardis. And Saturn has come into Lagna. He is going to become retrograde in a bit. We will talk about that once that happens in the month of July, all the way, I think if my dates are right, till November. But this, even from a Pisces ascendant rising perspective, you have to see this, that Venus, which is the lord of third house, is sitting in exaltation in your Lagna. And your 8th lord is also sitting in exaltation in your first house itself, which tells us that there will be a lot of suddenness, lot of commotion, difficulties, challenges that would have been coming all this while to you, especially with respect to your work, profession, career. Yet you've been shining through them, you've been coming out of them, albeit fighting a lot of difficulties. And that will continue to happen. The third lord is in the Lagna. Travels are going to be a prominent part of your life, Pisces. Hobbies are going to be becoming important. You would be interested in luxurious holidays, luxurious travel, luxurious interests, hobbies for that matter. But it will be rewarding as well. It will provide you success. It will, especially if you somehow marry them together with your work, career, profession. It is going to be stupendous. Because it is sitting, Venus is sitting, this exalted Venus is sitting with Saturn, who's the lord of your 11th house and your 12th house in the first house itself. Means gains are going to be associated with the efforts if you bring in luxury connected. What do I mean by that? Say you want to play golf and you take a membership of Top Golf here in US. That's the example that is coming on top of my mind. And that is where you run your business meetings. Anything that you've been aspiring for, you go and drive those discussions there. You invest into something, in a hobby, which is perceived as luxurious. Now, for some people, spending $50 for 30 minutes is not a big deal. For some, it could be, right? But the point I'm trying to make is, when it is perceived, a hobby is perceived as luxurious, something premium, and it is attached to the goal that you're trying to chase, it becomes very exciting. It will deliver the outcomes, the results that you want. And here, the third lord and the 11th lord are sitting in conjunction. 8th lord and the 11th lord are sitting in conjunction. So unexpected avenues will bring you success during this phase. Even if you are going through Sadesati Pisces, do not panic. I know the 12th lord is also coming into your first house itself from a Rashi perspective if you are watching this video. But you will still keep fighting. In fact, from a Sadesati perspective, this is going to be a good period for you. Now, Saturn is giving an aspect to your third house, and it is tricky but not detrimental. We've done a detailed video on Saturn transit as well. If you've not had a chance, please go ahead and check it out. I released that in March. And that is also going to be important. And that is why you picking up new activities, you traveling around, inculcating that in terms of whatever goals and wishes you have in your mind is going to be positive. Communicating what you want to achieve, formally expressing it in a polished fashion is going to be positive. Say you are aspiring to get admitted into one of the top brass colleges. Go ahead and express that desire in the form of a good letter. Try and get some kind of a recommendation for yourself. If you want to go and win a business deal, Go ahead and articulate your thought process formally as to what your ambition is, and then tie down that ambition and that hunger to what you're offering to your customer. You see how you can marry. This is how you have to analyze a chart. Pisces, it is going to be transformative in what you can achieve during this phase, and I want you to not be dropping the ball and continue to work hard during this period. This Saturn is giving an aspect to your 7th as well, where Ketu was already placed and he is inching out towards your 5th. Now, you have to understand this thing, that Pisces, Geminis, and Sagittarius would have had some sort of an interesting period in the last 1.5 years. Something major would have happened in terms of its achievement. And if you've not seen a drastic shift before this transit happens, these two planets are going to deliver that shift to you. Most often than not, big events like getting married, getting divorced, getting a new job, some extraordinary deal if you're running a business, getting college admission of your choice, once in a lifetime sort of an opportunity. All these kind of triggers, big events of life from a transit perspective, are triggered when they are in the 1, 7, and 14 axis. And now this Ketu is inching towards the 6th house, whereas Rahu is inching towards the 12th. He likes, first of all, he is getting into the sign of Aquarius. Plus, he is known to be an outcast. Everything elemental to foreign connections are seen through Rahu, and he's coming into that natural house. So Pisces, for you, this transit, and we are going to do again a very detailed video to figure out what that transit will mean for you. But that is already giving positive triggers. However, business partnerships, marital partnership, relationship are going to be crucial. Yes, Venus is giving a debilitated aspect, but Venus will come out of it. And it will only be the aspect of Saturn that will be placed there. This Saturn is giving an aspect to the 10th, but we touched upon the Jupiter bit earlier to help you understand that it is not going to be at all negative once the ship or the transit of Jupiter concludes. Now, if I move further, we see Mercury. He was in the sign of debilitation in your ascendant itself, and it has come into the 2nd house in the sign of Aries. Communication, especially within your family. And I will not talk much about the formal communication, which I think you are doing the right, perfect articulation at this point in time. But within your family, expressing your thoughts positively is going to be extremely important. He is the Lord of your 7th house and your 4th house, sitting in the 2nd. Now, this is where, because of the sign of Aries, I would want you to be watchful. Maybe sometimes you might say something pinching, hurtful, disgraceful, not so kind to your spouse, to your partner, to your business partner as well, if you consider them too informal in terms of your communication, in terms of your interaction, and that can become tricky, guys. So you will have to be watchful on that front as well. Then you will have to also understand that here, directionally, it is not one of the best positions. Even though Mercury was debilitated in the 1st house, directionally, it was a great situation for Mercury to be in. But now in the 2nd house, somewhere or the other, you will have to see that you have to bring in cheer, laughter, comedy, childishness in your behavior to create a happy environment. Why am I saying it? It's the 4th Lord moving 11 places away and coming into your 2nd. So you have to understand that fulfillment of your peace, expansion of your assets, growth, etc. will happen when you are creating that happy environment with your family. Your savings will increase during this period. If you are able to successfully translate the movement of your assets for your family or through your family, you are able to mobilize it, you are able to utilize it for such kind of gains, and it will deliver positive outcomes for you. But some tricky situation could arrive with respect to your marital situation, with respect to your business partnership. And I want you to be patient through the course of month May. Once Mercury is out of it and he is in the 3rd house, you will be in a much better situation for that matter. At the same time, you have an exalted Sun sitting in your 2nd house. Now, Sun happens to be the Lord of your 6th house, placed in exaltation in your 2nd. This is again positive for you because from your day-to-day chores perspective, work perspective, your career perspective, your job perspective, you could be doing pretty well. There would be some positive news that might come to Pisces people if they are anticipating any relief from loans, litigations, especially from a loans perspective. Many of you might be able to pay off a major chunk of it. And till 14th of May, that is a tremendous opportunity, post which Sun moves into your third house. See, right now, though it is an exaltation, it is giving a debilitated aspect to the eighth house. But once Sun moves into the sign of Taurus, yes, it's an inimical relationship, but third house Sun, I still like it. It's a Upchaya house. And from there, Sun is going to be aspecting to the sign of Scorpio into your ninth house. And there will be a rise in you, a place where you feel shaken from your moral compass perspective, from your decision-making perspective, principles perspective. You will feel a lot more authoritative. This Sun is going to definitely make you embark upon some journey. Many of you might be traveling heavily locally in the places where you live. Many of you are anticipated to do long distance travel during this period. And I see the possibility of long distance also because Mars is ninth lord, 9 places away in debilitation though, but in the fifth house. So if you start connecting the dots of all of these happening together in conjunction, it will make a lot more sense to what we can expect. Now you also see that Sun here is going to give you a lot of hard work. It is going to increase the courage. It is going to increase the magnanimity with which you deal with your problems, with your issues. And you are going to successfully overcome your problems as well. No matter you are working, you are a job person, you are a business, you are a homemaker, you are a retired person, no matter what state of life you are in, there will be some level of fight that you are going to bring out in the month of May. Second half, it will continue in June as well. And then even in June, Mars will also come out of it. He'll move into Leo. He will be in conjunction with Ketu. Oh my gosh, that'll be an interesting video to make. But that's a positive sign, guys. I recommend you folks to take some short distance travels, go and visit some temples during this time. It's not a bad idea throughout the course of the month of May. First half or second. See, in the first half, you have Jupiter placed in your third. In the second, you have Sun coming in there and Jupiter is going to move into the fourth. But your activity towards spirituality, towards religion, towards doing that discovery of self, towards being in isolation with yourself and finding that calm peace of mind is going to increase, bro. So that is definitely going to happen. Now, as we proceed further, we see Mars, which happens to be the lord of your second house and your ninth house. He holds two important positions, the Yokaraka planet for you guys. He is coming and placed in debilitation in your fifth house. Yes, this could be a period where you could be a tad bit harsh with your children. People who are in relationships, singles, who are looking forward to get into relationships, it could be a little bit tricky, yet you would have the opportunity to date the right people. Just keep control on your communication. I told you about the same from a Mercury's perspective, and I'm repeating that from a Mars perspective as well. Because emotions will be in such a wild swing for you folks that the way you articulate your thought process versus what you mean and what is being inferred by the person in front of you, that might have a drastically different meaning. Now, this Mars is going to make you frugal as well to a certain extent. It is going to bring that level of creativity, that how you use your money in the best possible way, which is very interesting. And as I was saying, being the lord of the nine places away, which is Bhavat Bhavan coming into play, extremely good position from that perspective. It is going to enhance your luck as you travel. Long distance journeys are going to be rewarding to you. See, it is giving an exalted aspect into your 11th house. Your wishes, your goals, objectives, whatever you have planned in mind, you are going to conclude that positively. This Mars is keeping a check on your expenses too, by the way, guys. So that's another positive bit that is going to happen with this Mars giving an aspect to your 12th. Probably you might have some interest in doing some investment in the real estate sector related to that. But this Mars also gives an aspect into your 8th house. And Mars is the natural lord of the 8th house from a Kalpurish chart perspective. So a certain degree of transformation, shift in your romantic life, in your kids' life, in your own educational life is highly probable as well. And that is where it is very important. I cannot emphasize enough that you may want to take a step back in reevaluating things before jumping towards any conclusion on any of these matters. Even your trade life cycle, your investment strategies too. But Mars will keep you good when it comes to expenses. So he's giving a protective aspect to the 12th house. I hope, guys, you've enjoyed this reading. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Astrology, and keep watching.